Welcome back to another video, guys, and as always, thank you for tuning in. The day is finally upon us. Halloween Horror Nights is opening tonight. The fog will roll out in Universal Studios and the monsters will come out. But it is the daytime. The fog has yet to roll out. We are here at Islands of Adventure for early park admission, but it's about time for Universal Studios to open up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna head to Universal Studios to check out all the scare zones, all the entrances to the ride or to the houses before the fog rolls out and the gates open for Halloween Horror Nights tonight. So join me, let's have some fun checking out the scare zones before the event opens. So like I said, we did do early park admission, so we've been here since 7 a.m. We rode Hagrid's and a Velocicoaster. So since we're here before we get on the train to Universal, let's go into the All Hallows Eve Boutique and check that out a bit. And check this merchandise reveal out. Scares at every turn with the Pumpkin Lord. That looks awesome. Wow, they got it all set up in here. I love it. And it's a nice place to cool down too in the Florida heat. They are pushing a little Boo merch real hard, as you saw just a moment ago. We glanced over the cups. We got them chilling right here looking like Sam from Trick or Treat. But all the merch looks super dope. I'm really enjoying all the merch, and today we are also joined by my friend Moose Money Moves. Follow him on Twitch at Moose Money Moves. And check it out, we got this Frankenstein popcorn bucket. Your first fill is free, $38. I gotta say, they look pretty cool, but I don't understand why Universal got into the whole popcorn bucket thing. I feel like that's such a Disney thing. Also, the traditional Halloween merch is so attractive. I think I'm gonna have to get this shirt, and I love how like they discreetly hid the 31 in there. And that is the All Hallows Eve store. So if you're looking to get yourself some Halloween Horror Nights feels while you're in Islands of Adventure, although Halloween Horror Nights doesn't occur over here, that's the perfect spot to do it. Now, we're gonna go to Universal in style. We're gonna ride the Hogwarts Express from Hogsmeade Station. We are finally here, and it's real, guys. I can't wait. Tonight, the fog rolls in, but today, we're gonna be checking out before all that occurs. Whoa, sorry for the flare. We're gonna be checking out the scare zones. So in addition to doing a little tour around the park, kind of just having fun with it before the event starts, I'll try to throw in some tips and tricks. I've been coming to the event now for well over like 20 years, so I think I have some insights that I could give you.
20 years,
I know, right? Isn't that crazy? But I think I have some insights that I could throw in there. One of the first ones I will tell you is make sure that you dress appropriately. It gets super hot, even in the nighttime here in Florida. And by dress appropriately, I mean do exactly the opposite of what Moose is doing. Pants, black shirt, no, I know. Now, maybe he could pull it off, but I get super hot. So shorts, comfortable Crocs with some Halloween charms and Jaws charms, and it's lit. And then if you could avoid dark colors, do that as well. And we're coming up on where the first show that we'll see is gonna be here at the park. And that show is Halloween Nightmare Fuel Wildfire. It's a returning show, but a new version of it. And you got the show times here. It runs during all the Halloween Horror Night nights over here at the X Factor Stadium. Now, one thing I will say, as Moose shows how large the stadium is compared to him, that this stadium, or this little theater area, does get pretty hot. So it's one of these shows that I typically avoid unless the crowds are low and things are moving along nicely, because I typically will go in there and just sitting down I'll start to sweat. So I avoid that show, although I do hear that the Nightmare Fuel shows are actually pretty awesome. And right across from the show, we run into our first food booth. let's check out one of these menus. We won't do too much of this because there's so many of these around, but this right here, this beer, for whatever reason, I love that can. It's the Lacto Cooler. I'm gonna have to get it just because I want that can, and I might save it as a souvenir. It's gonna be hard to travel and not damage it, but I'm not even a beer guy. I'm more of like a bourbon guy, but here are some of the drinks that you could expect, specialty beverages and whatnot at the event. All right, and here we are at the little Chucky photo op, and you know how people always say shameless plug? This is Universal's shameless plug. Literally no correlation with the event. Some merch, but a little photo op here for Chucky, although he has no house, no scare zone, or nothing else as representation at Halloween Horror Nights this year. Now, in between Men in Black and the Fear Factor seating area, we run into our first house, which is actually a new section. You'll be going through here and around the back of Men in Black to get to the bug house. Now, this isn't one that I particularly have any care for. I've heard a lot of rumblings about this being a super scary house, but it's just bugs. Nothing about bugs scares me, and all the marketing for it and the imagery has been kind of cheesy, so I'm not sure, but hopefully it surprises me. We'll see. Perfect. And just past the MIB shop over here, we have our other house. Now, typically there would be two entrances to two different houses here, but with that bug house being on the opposite end in their new little location, we only have one on this end. Now, this one, I can't recall exactly which one this is. Let's pull up the app. One little quick tip for you guys: if you are in the park, it's very helpful to have the app, and it is Descendants of Destruction. There's a original house, so I'm not too sure what to expect here. I love the original houses for that same reason. You know, I don't come in with any expectations, and sometimes they blow my mind. And we pop into the MIB store really quick, and I just wanted to point this out. They typically have the scarecrow stock, and it's something that you could buy like a little like $15 map or something like that, and then find all the scarecrows throughout the park, and they are doing it this year. As we continue to make it through the park, we're going to get through some other scare zones and check out, well, actually we haven't been through a scare zone just yet, but I also wanted to give you guys another quick tip. So the first 2 nights of the event have already sold out. So if you're not doing express, and definitely for the nights that you know you purchased a ticket for that have been sold out, make sure you do Stay and Scream. Stay and Scream is where you come to the park during regular operating hours and stay through to the beginning of Halloween Horror Nights. If you have a daytime ticket, you are able to stay in here. They also sell a separate ticket that is, I think it's like $40 or something like that, that you could come in after 3 o'clock, spend time here at the park, stay through into one of the holding areas, and then make it into one of the houses earlier than everybody else. Typically, the Stay and Scream individuals are let out about like an hour or 40 minutes before the general public. So, quick tip and a very helpful one if you are not bringing express to the event. As we make our way through Springfield, this is not an official scare zone, but typically like the little chainsaw brigade comes through here, so it's like a little unofficial scare zone. Last year they didn't have it. I'm hoping that this year they bring it back. But another quick tip is this right here, where they serve Duff, the Duff Beer Factory or whatever it is. They actually are a full-service bar, so if you are looking to get yourself a drink, not one of those specialty drinks, like myself, I don't indulge in those specialty drinks too much, they're way too sweet. I'm just a simple man with a bourbon and a Coke. And here is a full-service bar where you could come, and typically the lines aren't too bad. So Moose, you're almost a rookie all over again, because it's been like 4 years since you've been to Halloween Horror Nights. How you feeling about tonight?
I'm excited. I literally cannot wait. It's going to be first time doing it this year, and then I'm also going to LA at the end of the month, which I'll be able to experience both Universal Studios and see the differences and the similarities. So,
I know, way to rub it in our faces. And we're also going like all out for tonight, tomorrow, and the following. We're doing Express today, RIP tomorrow, and then Unmasking the Horror on Sunday. So
what are we doing Sunday night?
just a regular Halloween Horror Nights. I know. And again, Universal hits us with another shameless plug. Good Guy Food Booth. I wonder if food's gonna be any good there. And just back by the Kids Zone, right next to the ET ride, we have the next two houses, which will be The Weekend and Classic Monsters. Now, I gotta say, this house right here, The Weekend, although it's, I'm going over it like you could see what's back there, is probably my most anticipated house. I know that, you know, it's an artist, a lot of people, it's kind of controversial for the event, but I have a feeling he's just gonna fit in. If you watch his like music videos, they're all very horror themed. And then Classic Monsters has never failed us at the event. It's always a beautiful house, and in a lot of cases, beautiful and extremely scary. Perfect. And now we head into what's probably going to be the most awesome scare zone with a basically full barn built in it, Scarecrow. And just walking through it already, I'm loving it. Check out these very unique scarecrows. I've never seen anything like it. This one has like 8 arms. And of course they have all the boo-hos. So this ends up being basically like an outdoor scare zone or outdoor house almost, with all these boo-hos and the theming. Like, check it out. Look at that. Look at that. Now, a lot of people have pointed out the fact that they are using corn, and typically corn ends up in a very bad opening night with hurricanes and whatnot, but this year they're tricking everybody. This isn't actually corn. I believe it's bamboo. So, smart of them. Avoid the curse of the corn. And as we head into the barn area, there isn't a roof on it, probably due to like fire code, but there are these areas on the side over here. I wonder if we're gonna have some scare actors up there, maybe jumping across. It doesn't look like it. I don't see any ability for them to jump across, but look at this, another like little boo-hole area. Wow, wow, wow. Wow is all I could say for the Scarecrow scare zone. That looks amazing. I haven't seen them do such an intricate scare zone in a really long time. I am looking forward to checking this one out tonight when the fog rolls out. And just behind me over here at the Central Park waterfront, we will have our new water show, which is the replacement to Marathon of Mayhem, which has been a staple at the park for the past few years. An extremely amazing water, like, I don't know, water screen show that they do here that's always themed to the event. That show has been amazing. I'm not sure if this show that they're doing now is going to be a complete revamp and it's going to seem different, because if it's still using the water screens and everything, it's really just renaming it. But now it will be named Ghoulish, which I look forward to checking out either the first night or the second night, Saturday, because we'll be doing the RIP tour, which gives us, I believe, select seating or special seating for the 2 shows here at Halloween Horror Nights. And we're making our way through, and one of the things that I gotta say, another quick tip, is if you're here for Halloween Horror Nights, but you're enjoying the daytime, a quick place where you can kind of get that feel and get yourself prepared for the nighttime event is coming over here to the Universal Horror Makeup Show, Orlando's Horror Makeup Show, which is one of the original offerings here at Universal Studios. This and ET are still original from when the park opened its doors, and in the lobby area, it's open for you to walk through. It's AC'd, so it's a nice little getaway from the heat, and they have some Halloween Horror Nights merch, I guess, or displays, I would say better. Let's go inside and check them out really quick. Halloween Horror Nights isn't the only thing that they have in here to check out. They have other movie props, and I believe some of them are film used, from The Mummy, from Chucky, from John Carpenter's The Thing, Jurassic World, or Jurassic Park, a little bit of everything. But if you turn around, you can say hi to the godfathers of Halloween Horror Nights with Jack and the Caretaker. Different photos and schematics from throughout the years here at Halloween Horror Nights. There's the director. And out of the horror makeup show we come into a scare zone with some big shoes to fill. The replacement for the Eddie scare zone, which is Graveyard. Deadly Unrest. I do gotta say, the props here do look super cool. And just paying attention to the small details, which is another tip. Pay attention to the details. There's always super cool little details here in the scare zones and in the houses. You'll see a lot of it if you do any of the behind the scene tours. The little details are super cool. It looks like they have some like memorials for deceased members here in the cemetery. And we're gonna head into the Five and Dime to check out some of the merch, but I saw this right here and just wanted to mention it to you guys. This year you have the opportunity to be featured in the tribute store, which we'll end this video at, with this Rest in Peace placard, which I do think is a little morbid, so I would love to be featured in the tribute store, but I'm not sure if this is the way I want to do it. Here's another Scarecrow from the Scarecrow stock. I don't want to ruin it for you guys. Hopefully you have fun finding these, but you got a ton of merch, kind of like the same stuff that we would see at the tribute store, but I expect that the tribute store is going to have some additional stuff, maybe some exclusive items like the food items for sure. And we make our way towards the entrance of the park. We entered through the Hogwarts Express Diagon Alley from Anza Adventure. So this is typically where you guys would enter through, and also one of the Stay and Scream areas with the Today Cafe. But over here is our first scare zone that you would run into when entering from the front gates. You'll say hi to the Pumpkin Lord in his pedestal here at Horrors of Halloween. So your traditional Halloween kind of scare zone with all the pumpkins. Now I do gotta say, personally, I feel like over by Scarecrow is where these pumpkins belong. They seem a little unfitting to me, and I haven't bought into the little boo hype, to be honest. That being said, once I'm in here, I can imagine in the nighttime, this is gonna look a lot cooler. I just think these pumpkins are much more fitting in the trees. And a little quick thing to point out, all these little like stands here are themed to different scare zones. So you have the scarecrows, you have the sweets over there, you have the pumpkins towards the front. But yeah, there's gonna be a bunch of little areas here paying homage to all the different scare zones in the park. And as we head out of the scare zone, Moose, what'd you think of that scare zone?
Pretty good.
Looks pretty cool?
Yeah.
It's one of my least favorites, but I love the pumpkins. We head on over now to where there's going to be 2 additional houses. One of the houses actually we just passed, and I'm not going to turn around, but it's a new area or new entrance. We have about 3 new entrances for houses this year. The one over by Minions, and then over here by Production Central, you'll have another house, which I believe is the Coven of Witches. Yes, and from what I could see, it is Spirits of the Coven, which they've set all these stanchions for. They're expecting long lines for these houses back in the studio sound stages. And as we continue our way, just as a reference, the house entrance over by Minions, I believe, is Hellblock. So that one is the jail cell, and they've all been released, and your time is due, something like that. Judgment Day, whatevers. But now we got 2 houses and the tribute store. And over by Jimmy Fallon, we have my least favorite ride and my favorite property here as far as IPs go, Halloween. I can't wait to check this one out. I've heard great things about it, and it's the first time, well, not the first time, but now they'll have the classic Halloween in a soundstage as opposed to being in a tent like they had it before. And then towards the end, where Twister used to be, we have over here the Chupacabra, and I forget which one this one is. We have 2 of the classics. The Chupacabra is probably the one that I'm looking forward to the most from the original houses, and then Dead Man's Pier. I've heard great things about that from Wednesday's member preview. I heard it's a beautiful house to walk through, so I look forward to that. just outside of the Tribute Store is where we'll find Major Sweets. So this particular scare zone has kind of extended itself into Sting Alley. And yeah, if it was in Nocturne Alley, that'd be hilarious because that means we would have a Harry Potter scare zone, but Sting Alley. So this is pretty awesome. We haven't had this scare zone be that long, and I know that they have like the meats factory or whatever treats over there, like Ground Down Princess is one of them, but I look forward to checking this out at night. With the space that they have and the level of, design, I think this is going to be a cool one. I did see some of the member preview and what was going on in here, so that's another reason why I am highly anticipating this one to be pretty amazing. And while we're here, we might as well enter the Tribute Store. Oh, this looks super cool with the crows. They're all flying right over there. This looks like your traditional kind of like scarecrow room. And we got the Pumpkin Lord right here. And then we also have it's supposed to be like mimicking like a dark ride at a carnival. You got the track on the ground leading you from room to room. Now this room is obviously cemetery themed, as we have the different statues and the casket shaped displays for some of the merch. Oh, and it also looks like we have some actual triggered movement here, or animatronics. Look at this guy. And like we were talking about earlier, this is where you could have your headstone made, or rest in peace Tribute Store limited headstones. And I know Adrian's in here somewhere from Losh TV. Let's see if we could find him. And there he is, Senor Losh TV himself, Adrian. It's dark in here. Yes, it is, sir. And then as we get towards the end, we start seeing some of the snacks that they offer here, which this year they have a ton of chocolates. They have the popcorn bucket in here as well, some lollipops, marshmallows. They're Casper marshmallows. Looks like the tracks end. And now we head out of the Tribute Store. And it looks like they do have at the exit some Halloween Horror Nights coins. I'm gonna go ahead and get myself one of each. I did get the 4 for earlier this year that they had. It was like all the classic rides, and these are the 4 for Halloween Horror Nights. $15 for 4.
What are they?
Little collector's coins. And as we're making our way out of the Tribute Store and on to the last portion of the event, the Mummy has started to reopen slowly. It doesn't look like it's currently open, but I know that they've been doing some opening nights for guests to try it out. I think it's just limited because they're working out some kinks on the ride, but I am liking this whole entire area for the park. And then we got over here Sting Alley, which is the meat locker that we were talking about. We're not going to go through there. There's plenty of videos in there on YouTube, so make sure to check that out. My boys over from the Boo Bros, Chris, Zombie Chris, and Losh TV, both had little in-depth videos in there and also trying out some of the treats. And a quick little mention over here at Louie's, a great place to grab pizza and sometimes pizza fries. But this year we have the returning Scare Actor Dining, and this is the location where it will be held. We may be trying this out and bringing you guys along for the fun. We haven't solidified that just yet, just because we have already so much going on. But yes, Louie's Scare Actor Dining. And over here by the Slow and the Disappointing, we have our last house at the event, which is Blumhouse. This year, Blumhouse brings us 2 different IP properties, which is Freaky and The Black Phone. I gotta say, Freaky, I don't think is gonna be very impressive. The Black Phone, I unfortunately didn't get a chance to watch, so I will be going into this a little bit blinded, but I look forward to checking it out anyway and giving you guys my review tonight. And that is all the houses. We still have one more scare zone to go through, but before we go through that scare zone, I just wanted to kind of let you guys know. So the house that I'm looking forward to the most as far as originals is Chupacabra. And then as far as IPs, I love Halloween, but The Weeknd is the one that interests me the most at the event. I think it's gonna be a sleeper hit. And as we make it to our last scare zone, it's good to mention that they are going to be adding this year a Stay and Scream area here by Richter's. Typically, they don't have a Stay and Scream area here, but this is the new one that they're adding, so I'm kind of interested to see how this one will be. We might have to check it out for you guys. And into Conjure the Dark we go, our last scare zone here, which is also kind of witch related. And here's another boo hole. They have a speaker, they have the trigger. So yes, like I said earlier, it seems like all the scare zones have become more of like just outdoor houses. Do not climb. It looks like we have a stage over here where maybe some type of sacrifice or performance will be going on with this little like kettle where the witches will be brewing maybe humans. Typically when something's tarped off like this, it means it's horrific and probably a dead body. And there's one over here as well, which kind of on the top, you could kind of see a head. But yes, there's gonna be some type of performance going on over here. Last year, this was the Crypt TV scare zone, which was very cool and theatric. And I think they're gonna stay with that theme. Alrighty guys, we catch a little shade from the side of Lombard's, and that is it. We looked at all the house locations, all the scare zones, and we are super excited to check it out and bring you guys along tonight. So make sure to keep an eye out for that content. I'm gonna try to edit it up and have it out for you guys this weekend. This should be out today, later today, so you guys could watch while the event is going on if you're not able to actually come for opening weekend since it has sold out. And if you are gonna be here and you see me out, make sure to say hi. I always like running into you guys at the park, and I typically don't run into too many people that recognize me here at Universal Studios. Moose, are you excited for tonight as you look through all the merch that you purchased?
Of course, super excited.
Awesome. So am I, guys. I will see you guys on the next one. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me. But don't forget to ask yourself, have you been entertained?